either way. We're not that far away from going live. In fact, the teams are actually going to go into the pistol round right now. Astralis versus Envy here in the ESL Pro League. This is going to be a blockbuster clash, if I can get my words out. And I'm really keen.
That's how excited you are.
Oh, yeah. Stumbling over my words.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Astralis take on Team Envy, of course. Both of these rosters ridiculously well known to anyone who follows Counter-Strike. But for those of you who don't, Dupree, Device, Kirby, Carrigan, and Zipnix for Astralis, the team on Counter-Terrorist, and for the Envy guys, Devil, NBK, Happy, Kenny S, and Apex, who's been in fantastic form himself. This is going to be an A hit here straight off the bat for Team EnVyUs, and they'll open the account. No, they won't. Kirby and Device picking up the first couple of kills, and Dupree goes largely unnoticed under the balcony there, and almost doesn't connect, but he does do the job in the end. Kirby and the crew pick up the first round. Astralis looking strong in their opening round of their map pick.
Yeah, the waterfall was put to rest. They tried to get out of carpet there and tried to get up tier ramp, but Astralis, the crossfires were just way too strong in that instance. It helps when Kirby's hitting some shots. So you said he was the man to watch, and he's delivered so far in this matchup. And we see EnVyUs buy into this round, so scouts and pistols across the board, and you can see Astralis are just backing off a little bit once they recognise that they do possess some pistols. That grenade is fantastic. It doesn't actually do a lot of damage, but NBK with the perfect reply. One bullet deagle, and now he's going to push onto this B bomb. So he might actually catch out Device. He does, and he's opened things up here. You can see the CT rotation coming in.
Yeah, beautiful openers there from NBK. Zipnix completely overextending there, jumping way too many times. You can't give players like NBK that many looks at you, and now he will grab that UMP and just fire away there in the back of B's side. His teammates will be late to the party, but they'll come nonetheless. Kirby there, finding a kill. That could be crucial. Now it's all on the members of Astralis, but Happy here. They have no idea. He's coming through, and he should get the double. He does instant there. And that is absolute tears for Astralis, as EnVyUs completely wreck them on their anti-eco, but it was about the deagle headshots from NBK. They're beautifully opening the round up.
Vintage NBK and vintage Happy on that lurk, so two apiece, and that's really helped EnVyUs open things up in this round. So we will see them collecting all the weaponry that their opponents did at one point possess, and you can see Kirby needs to just try and save that FAMAS out, but he should be able to do so quite comfortably. 1-1, and EnVyUs with the perfect reply.
Absolutely. Zipnix there, jumping at the end of B-holes, a very common place. You see that so much in Mirage, and you see it used to good effect, but after you've been spotted out there, he needs to only sort of jump half as often. NBK got about 3 or 4 good looks at him jumping up before he thought to himself, right, I think he's going to go again here, and then just sort of rip his face off as, goodness, Apex has just absolutely smashed Carrigan. What's really interesting about EnVyUs, for those of you who watch them a lot, Apex actually takes the scout on these rounds as Dupree nails NBK with a deal. This is some sick fragging already, and this is the kind of action we were hoping for, Jim. But back to my point, the scout actually falls into the hands of Apex on these rounds, and Kenny S doesn't ever scout. It will always be Apex taking in the second round, and Kenny S will go for that AWP and use the SMGs to try and accrue some revenue. But as it stands now, he's gone back to that UMP, given the Mac-10 across the Devil. 4 versus 4 here, and the B-side hits coming in here. Zipnix will get one. He needs to get more, though. Can he get a second? He can't. But Kirby here is in a wonderful position with that FAMAS. He gets one, but he takes a lot of damage, and the trading is good here from Astralis. This is so back and forward, but eventually Devil's able to work his way around that pole. But look at this round now. Device, 1 versus 1. Devil trying to get through the window. That's a brilliant piece of positioning from Device, getting up on those racks to extend his angle. It is completely booked Devil. What a piece of skill there from Device. Not just the aim and execution, but the reading of the game there. Just sublime.
I'm not too sure how Dupree didn't kill Devil there in that instance. He hit 2 shots close range and missed the rest. So unfortunately that brought that down to a 1 versus 1. It would have been a much cleaner round for Astralis in that instance. But we will see them just both buy up respectively, whatever they can. Dupree with that P90, the Pro 90. EnVyUs buying up what they can in this instance. Devil on that Tech 9, the rest with AKs. Very light utility across the board though.
Yeah, it's a crazy round of action here. Pistols going to Astralis. Force buy going to EnVyUs. The force buy back going to Astralis. Now a force buy back the other way for EnVyUs with these AKs. Limited utility now, but we're well and truly into the thick of things already in round 4. So much back and forth between these two teams. And Device there going to try and get some information in mid, but once again, Apex opening up the first kill of the round. Carrigan trading, but Kirby goes down to Devil. Now MPK opens up to Carrigan. This is a extremely back and forth round, and Device with that control across the map.
Wow, the patience to actually just not opt for the spray there, just going for the short burst with the Colt, paid dividends there, and actually swapping weaponry out there. Device, not on high HP, swap the rifle out to Zipnix now, who will be looking to clean up with that M4 AO1. Devil and Happy now in this 2 versus 2.
I think Happy's going to find an angle. He'll know it's Zipnix, the beneficiary of that M4 from Device, has paid dividends once again here for Zipnix, and the grenade from Device, so he'll pick up a triple.
He bowls him, he's gone.
He is out.
Taking middle stump.
Taking middle stump out of the ground. And look, for me, that was all about Device and his ability to not just pick up those kills, throw that M4 across to Zipnix. That M4 gets the 3rd kill under the name of Zipnix, and then Device with that grenade. Beautifully finished off by Astralis. EnVyUs, though, finally admitting defeat here, and they will go for an eco round, or just a few pistols there, but nothing serious, no investment in armor or grenade work there. Would love to see just one flash on somebody, the Anders flash. He was notorious for getting angry at teams for not buying that $200 item that could potentially win you a round, but Kirby does well with that AK straight up, removes the head of Apex early on, and that's a good start here for Astralis.
Yeah, potentially well, I guess it could be termed the flash for cash. It could win you around. So, you know, essentially it's worth that investment. Obviously not possessing it here, but you can see EnVyUs Kirby just flattened Apex at the top of mid. Now, Apex has actually been in a rich vein of form with his entry fragging lately. We saw him against G2. He was just ripping his fellow countrymen apart, as we do see Devil take a little bit of damage there through that wall, but not enough to take him and put him into the dirt, as we see now. Astralis just slowly trying to get some info on mid, but MBK is on a tear with that deagle. Happy also chimes in with his own. Kirby finds the reply, but now the pressure's on this A-bomb side as MBK, again, opening things up with that deagle. Carrigan under pressure now with that AWP, gets one before he's able to fall back. And now it's back to a 2 versus 2, but Jesus, Devil just trying to fly through the air and catch Carrigan out with that AWP. They should be able now to cordon off Kenny S here. Kenny does have that rifle. The bomb has gone down, 2 versus 1.
Yeah, Kenny retreats back towards the T-ramp to those Tetris boxes. He's in a decent position now, so not a lot of angles open to the CTs to take him down. Carrigan will try and continue his good work, come towards the CT spawn boxes and push in with that scope of his. He's picked up one and a deagle frag already. Now Kenny S fires onto Carrigan, finds the kill he needed, and he'll reposition himself into a much better angle here. Kenny S playing this very masterfully, and it was always going to be that way after the first kill. Kenny S really playing clutch, and he'll go for that AWP. He doesn't make it though, but what he does do is pick up the round for EnVyUs, and because of the pressure, you see Astralis now with the empty bank accounts. Yeah,
and they managed to get an AWP in Kenny's hands, so they've rejigged their inventory there. The double scout buyout coming from Astralis, so they're really forcing into this, and some scouts, deagles, UMP. It is essentially a Whitlam sampler of a buy. Everything
the game has to offer there under the $2,000 price tag range has been purchased by the Astralis boys. 2 scouts, as you said, a UMP and a couple of pistols. They versus the might of 4 AKs and that sniper on Kenny S, which he is world renowned for. So very difficult prospect coming up here for Astralis, but they have shown already in this match, let alone their history, I should say, they are very capable of winning these rounds, and Dupree does just that, opens up onto Happy there, and Carrigan will get a lot of damage off onto Apex there with the hit of that scout. And as this round trickles on, Jim, this is looking more and more like Astralis can get the upper hand here, and Device picks up NBK as well before Zipnix is traded out. Device gets the second, and now he has an AK. This is trouble time for the boys in EnVyUs, and that's all she wrote. Device with the quad kill. What an absolute animal. And I don't think he saw the AWP there in the flames.
No, he knew it was there.
He ran straight. He knew it was there?
He knew it was there somewhere, but didn't get it.
Oh, I don't think, yeah, I think the smoke puff must have come in a weird direction because he's just summited himself. Give me some 1Gs in the crowd.
We've memed that enough. But either way, through the fire and flames, he tried to get that AWP. The risk, tried to risk it for the biscuit, didn't pay off. But now we do see EnVyUs on that pistol buy. Not surprising to see MBK with that Desert Eagle so far. He's been showing us why he's made that weapon his own in recent times. So it definitely doesn't bode well for Astralis if they're not careful here.
Yeah, I think just then Device might have gone beyond 1G. He melted down himself for about 70 HP instead of just 1, but that's okay. He won the round, so that's much more important. Device there picking up a quad and looking great in this one for Astralis. Dupree, though, he's doing fantastic work at the A ramp too, letting nothing get past him there, and it will be Kenny S just with that P250 trying to do something, and he does find the head of Carrigan before Kirby tries to spot back towards the T ramp there after picking up the mid-con kill. He will continue to fire away, pick up his second, possibly his third here as Kenny S will take on the challenge coming up the ramp, but Kirby there strafing across in front of his teammate. Nom nom nom, the eco kills go the way of Kirby, and Astralis go 5-2 up. Rewind though, Jim, one round before that one. Because of the way the round ended, we kind of glossed over the MBK Deagles. They were insane.
They've been insane.
They've been insane, so he's on fire with that Deagle. Good to see.
It's a difficult prospect to navigate too when you are repeatedly copying 1Bs from a player with a Desert Eagle on rounds like that. So it's going to be frustrating, at least in part to Astralis, despite them having that 5-2 round advantage. You can see Kenny S though is forced onto that Tech 9 at the moment. Device actually taking Apex down. So Apex, even though he's in good form, is falling early on in his rounds, and that's not going to help EnVyUs at the moment. You can see they're splitting B through short. They've got connector control, and they've now made their way into this B bomb site. Zipnix is going to be called into action here, but it's actually Dupree that's working quite well. They're repelling them from this B bomb site. Now just Kenny S at the van by himself. You can see that Happy's making his way around towards the shop, but he's got no help from his teammate. The bomb's been taken down. Happy's made his way, or at least made his presence known. And gets taken down by carrying with an AWP. They got into the bomb site, but the awkward hold from Astralis actually worked out quite well.
Yeah, it did. I thought Zipnix was going to go down a lot earlier there, but he managed to stay alive for a very, very long time, and that facilitated the rotation from Astralis. And once that went down, they were all Gucci at that B bomb site. EnVyUs now back on those pistols. No armor once again, but don't have to remind everyone of the terrible time Zipnix has had at B so far, jumping up and down there and facing the NBK Deagle. But Carrigan now will scope towards the top of mid, spotting around, but he won't find any answers forthcoming.
This late mid control from EnVyUs at the moment is being afforded to them by Astralis. Astralis are not really placing a premium on trying to contest mid as the counter-terrorist, but they're not really getting anywhere at the moment, EnVyUs, because when they're running into the sites, the holds from Astralis are just so solid that they're having a tough time really finding any success, even getting the bomb plant down. So Kenny S is able to find Kirby with that Deagle at the top of mid, but it's now down to a 2 versus 4 situation. Devil takes a little bit of damage through the B halls there, but T's are going to reunite and put pressure back on this B bomb site. That's where they're hedging their bets.
Yeah, they are, but it will be Device trying to spot the line out there, and he will do a lot of damage, but it won't be enough. Devil picks up the kill onto Device, but Zipnix will hold strong here, or should hold strong rather, as he picks up the first with the bomb, and it's just left on Kenny S, but Zipnix finds those 2 easy frags. The angles, just too many to watch for Kenny S and his teammate there coming into B. Astralis starting to extend their lead now, 7-2, getting into a bit of a groove. And it is off the back of Kirby and Device for the CTs. And I guess everyone contributing equally at the moment there for EnVyUs. 5s across the board and 4 for Devil, but just the 1 kill in it. So good distribution of kills here for EnVyUs, but they've all come on the eco rounds, haven't they, Jim? They haven't had a lot of penetration on their gun rounds.
No, they haven't been able to get into those bomb sites. They've got a lot of mid-territory, a lot of control there, but that's not really helping them too much because the site being held quite solidly here from Astralis, but you can see now, again, this is the first time you've really seen both teams try and contest mid here. Kyobe picks up MBK, and Device will actually be picking up Apex as well, so there is a late focus on mid comparatively from Astralis, and now you can see they're going to be forced to take that battle there. Devil actually running in by himself and dropping that bomb in the B halls. You can see Happy and Kenny S are absolutely nowhere near him at all, so I'm not too sure what his intentions were there, but you can see Astralis have made the adjustments, have actually rotated, because they know that bomb is down in the B halls.
Yeah, it was weird there from the Devil player there. He just sort of ran out of the smoke.
Inexplicably.
Yeah, he must have got a call from his teammate. That's what he wanted him to do, because I mean, Happy's still alive, so you assume he's got a call from Happy or Kenny S, try and push B with the bomb and get a sneaky plant. Maybe they've rotated off, because he was on the backside of a smoke. He had no reason to push that. It was a minute left on the clock, and he had 2 teammates. So you'd think that it was more of a, oh, okay, we'll try and make a play here to see if they've emptied the bomb site and gamble on it, rather than, just a specific run through the smoke and die with the bomb.
Yeah, well, I think the call came out that Astralis were actually contesting mid, and by that time, that actually rotated players back into the bomb respectively. But Kenny S is doing a fantastic job of actually saving this AWP. He's actually taken 2 with him so far, and he'll be looking for another one. At least make it somewhat expensive for Astralis. But you can see at the moment, neither of the Astralis players, all 3 of them, are not willing to overpeak here at the moment. So Kenny S will save that AWP, and it'll be up to EnVyUs now how they choose to use it in this next round.
It's sort of just was a game of cat and mouse. So it's like, how much is Kenny's AWP worth? And it's like, is it worth 1 kill? Yes. Is it worth 2 kills? Yes. Is it worth a 3rd? No, it's not. We'll just save it now at this point. We're not going to empty out our bank accounts, because they're trying to still really solidify theirs, as Kenny does pick up 2. And in previous rounds, they've been losing a lot of frags to those Deagles as well. So they haven't really been able to solidify that one. But Carrigan picks up Kenny S, and the AWP has fallen to Apex, which isn't a bad option, as he is their second, I guess, is their scout option on that rifle. So good news there for EnVyUs, but the pick from Carrigan there was sublime.
It was, and that's really what's opened them up at the moment. So Kenny S going down. Apex, though, they're going to try and utilise this this mid boost, if they can actually manage to get it out. But that AWP is posted up the mid connector. Happy gets taken down. Kyobe recognising the threat, as now Device is going to take his pick through window there. He's not going to overextend himself, though, without flashing first, and hasn't actually moved at all. Apex is trained on his position with that AWP. That grenade, unfortunately, doesn't hit the target. A bit of a custard arm there has cost EnVyUs the chance to do some damage, but it's an awkward standoff in mid now.
Yeah, but Astralis really need to be careful here, because if they give away another kill, this can turn pretty hairy, and that is another kill there. Apex picks up a double. Device trying to escape the dangers of the window. Now, I think Astralis should still come away with this round, but because Debris has so much map position going on for them, and Zipnix is pretty content on that B site, shouldn't be too many problems for Astralis winning this round. However, they need to be careful they don't lose too many guns, as Carrigan spots out the mid-con player, and now he'll be aware of the threat, and hopefully they'll be able to hold on to this one for their sake. But yeah, it's been an expensive round already for them, and they need to make sure they keep going here.
Free with that push into T-Spawn has paid dividends. He's been able to completely flank both Apex and MBK, and there is no plan in that round. There is no silver lining at all for EnVyUs at the moment. Their money bonus, though, because of the losses, has been accruing, and they are able to buy into this round. But again, Kenny S has actually opted to take that Tech 9, so unfortunately they haven't been able to give him the weaponry that he deserves.
No, not at the moment. He doesn't have that dope scope in hand. He really lacks that dank bank that he needs to buy it. So it will be Astralis taking a 9-2 lead and finally settling into some comfort zone Counter-Strike.
Just that default where they actually send members through the underpass to take late mid control there. So Devil is going to be boosting Apex to short to see if anyone's going to get too inquisitive there from Astralis, but this is where they're actually shoring up the bomb sites at the moment, clustered together. You can see 3 CTs and 2 CTs in the A and B bomb sites respectively, but damage being done. Happy actually catches Dupree out completely. They had no eyes on Palace in that hole. Now it's back to a 4 versus 2. EnVyUs with a lot of mid control here, but they are going to try and pressure this A bomb site.
They certainly will. EnVyUs rolling in now, but it will be Zipnix holding that A side. He gets one, he gets two. That's brilliant work there from Zipnix. Can he get a third? No, he can't. But Device does chime in, so it's now Carrigan and Device versus NBK and Apex. The HP and utility advantage does go the way of the Astralis team. Now NBK trying to get that bomb down if he can. He will get the planet successfully. And now Apex picks up Carrigan. That's a massive frag. And it's all left on Device here.
2 versus 1 situation though. NBK needs to be careful that he doesn't overextend here. Actually, he goes down 15 HP, but with 15 HP, he is able to get the frag that he needs. So, EnVyUs find themselves a little bit of success here, but you can see their money is in real danger of being reset if they don't follow that up with a round win. So, Astralis comfortable to buy into this round. They've got that AWP on Carrigan's shoulders, so they are going to still be a threat as we see EnVyUs depart spawn.
Yes, but if Astralis don't manage to win this one fairly cleanly, they could be looking at a pretty ugly end to their half as well. We're 12 rounds in. This is the 13th, and both teams are completely out of money at this point. Whichever team loses this one will surely struggle to finish out the half the way that they would want. So there's a lot riding on this round, a very crucial round in this matchup. Kenny S and Carrigan both supporting those AWPs in play, while everyone else has a rifle. So both teams pretty much at full strength. A lot of utility on both sides still. That advantage does go to EnVyUs, however, and they will have a much more fruitful finish to this round if they elect to, I guess, execute onto a bomb site. Still 2 smokes and a couple of Molotovs in play for them, while I guess it's a pretty similar prospect there for Astralis, but a little more Molotov heavy, no smokes available. So as we look to the 45-second mark, Jim, both teams still just trying to find that opening frag.
He's taken down now unawares. He was changing his position, but you can see MBK's there to get the trade quite quickly, but they have lost their AWP for the round, so 4 rifles in play. For EnVyUs is now back to a 4 versus 4, so you can see EnVyUs now making their way into this A bomb site. Astralis have no choice but to give it to him. You can see that Carrigan has actually surrendered his position now on the site. He gets flashed out as well, so great teamwork there, allowing Apex to find the frag. They know that Dupree has a tendency to push the T-spawn, so they've actually thrown the Molotov there, aware of whose position. They were once bitten, twice shy, and now the retake is coming in from Astralis.
Yeah, I don't think they'll know he's so close just yet, but the Molotov's extinguished for a few seconds, and Happy flanks the flanker. The flank becomes the flanked. Dupree goes down there, and Kirby and Zipnix are left to lick their wounds, and this is very, very dangerous here for Astralis. Now, Kirby needs to get away here. I thought he was going to go down for just a moment, as I think it was NBK screaming around the corner there at CT Spawn. Yes, it was. He'll pick up the AWP for his mate Kenny S. And, oh no, this is tragedy here for Astralis. Happy picks up Zipnix, and Kirby is left bleeding internally at that bench. So hopefully he doesn't get spammed out here. He's chosen to actually pick a line, which is awkward, but he gets the kill nonetheless. So good finish there for Kirby. But the money here for Astralis, no good.
Absolutely no good at all. The only good news is the fact that Kirby has just been able to save out that, that Colt of his, but there's really nothing left in the tank. You can see Astralis will be ecoing this one out in an attempt to save money for that last round of the half. Yeah,
MBK there with the window smoke, and that will push a progression through the mid and B halls here for EnVyUs. Nothing towards A, just the one player Happy on the lurk. But Apex there with a pop flash, and he's picked up Kirby. So that's a brilliant start there, a good individual piece of mechanics there for Apex.
Yeah, just that awareness too, that there was potential for that underpass to be pushed. So they just, dotting all their I's and crossing all their T's. So making sure that they're not going to be caught off guard. Kilo with that lone Colt has been taken out of play early on here, and EnVyUs are going to take control of mid connector and mid, as we do see Device actually take down Happy in that lurk position at the Palace, but they're spurred onto B here. Astralis need to defend. It's only Zipnix here with that P2000, and he goes down.
Yeah, what he would have done for the AK on Device at that point, but unfortunately when he doesn't have it, Device will look to save this one, I assume. Yeah, he's already going to corner himself up in T-spawn and just wait for some exit frags, I should think. While he no doubt contemplates life and the meaning of here, saving his weapon. what do you think Astralis have to do to get themselves back into the match? Because EnVyUs were behind, but now they'll win 5 here and almost have the, well, they will have the decisive advantage going into the final round as well. So they look to push on towards 6, and if you're Astralis and you were up sort of 7-2 mark, you'd be disappointed with the way they closed out this one.
I definitely agree in that instance, but I mean, they do eventually take the Device down, so there will be no saving of that AK for him at all, but I think Astralis are definitely giving way too much territory away to Envy, particularly in that middle section of the map. EnVyUs, they're throwing just a simple smoke, that window smoke there, and that, I mean, they're not too content on taking control of mid early on either, so it's usually through that underpass that they're actually exerting any sort of mid control, and it is fairly late in the round, so if Astralis cotton onto that, and they are going aggressive in this round, they stood a better chance, but you could see Kirby there was largely unsupported from his team. Dupree takes down Happy on the ramp, but Kenny S finds a reply onto Device. Mid-connector control, mid-control now, given back to Envy.
Yeah, Carrigan's going to do his best to fight for it, though, as he runs around the corner, gets the first one, and he'll bail away out of mid-con. So 3 versus 3, great job there from Carrigan. Sensing the danger and making a play there, and he's got a great read on this one too, because he's got that mid-kill and immediately gone back to reposition himself at A, but unfortunately for himself, he's going to find himself in a 3 versus 1 here, but very, very smartly, he's pushed into the A halls and taken down NBK and repositioned himself yet again. So the 3rd spot here for Carrigan is just a piece of brilliance here from the Astralis player. He could end up with a quad kill here, very deservingly so. Carrigan, he's just eaten away at the EnVyUs players, and now it's all left on Devil.
Such smart positional play from Carrigan, allowing him to get the frags, and again, he finishes out that round, picking up his 3rd, and fantastic work from him, allowing Astralis to get themselves that 10-5 mark on their CT side. So the question is, have they done enough? Are EnVyUs going to be capable on their CT side? And we know Astralis are quite good at those set executes, so they're going to have to repel EnVyUs. Should I say, EnVyUs are going to have to repel Astralis once they act on those smokes.
Yeah, look, for me, I'll just, I guess, try and impart some knowledge if I can, and say that Carrigan there, that was one of the smartest rounds you will see from a professional player. Now, you can take it on its face value. It's just 4 rifle kills. He doesn't do anything particularly special. But if you're looking to learn the game and learn how to read the game and, I guess, develop your in-game awareness, that round from Carrigan really displayed what it means to have critical thinking at an elite level. He gets the mid-kill with a pop flash that he throws for himself. He then immediately, without hesitation, runs back knowing that the switch from EnVyUs is incoming and there's probably going to be a player lurking in A halls. He goes there, takes that battle, then repositions himself yet again in the bomb site, knowing that if there's a guy there, there's probably 2 guys at the A ramp.
Well, not only that, too, the second position he took in the Palace was such a strong position to be in as well, because it really becomes quite awkward for EnVyUs to try and take that side if they don't have any control over Palace. So he either had to take the fight there, and he did successfully, and you could see immediately the pressure was put back onto EnVyUs, even though they had the man advantage.
Yeah, so if any aspiring CS players out there, if you want a free lesson on how to read the game, that example from Carrigan was sublime, but of course you can learn those similar lessons from almost every round of these professional players as they go about their business, but that was just a highlighted example now, and NBK is going to have to highlight his aim here as Device gets chopped down instantly, but will it be enough there for NBK? He goes down to Zipnix, and Astralis run roughshot over this bomb site, but it's Happy and Kenny S here defending, and they've let Happy go on largely unnoticed. They still don't know where Happy is. He's fighting, and this is a complete shutdown here from EnVyUs.
Wow, Happy in that just bait position at the chair, just waiting it out, and he'd convinced Astralis that he didn't exist. Yeah,
he did. He went largely unnoticed. I don't know if he was crouching at the start, completely hiding. I'm pretty sure that he must have been, but yeah, he could have been hugging that left wall too. Either way, Astralis will be disappointed they didn't clear that area because they had control, or rough control, of the bomb site, and then he popped his head up and took them all out. So Astralis there, go down the pistol round.
Yeah, and that's an example of positive baiting too, because it actually helps them reach an outcome there, and obviously was communicated as well. So we will see now EnVyUs just with some rifles and some SMGs across the board. Zipnix actually flattens MBK with that deagle, so dishing out some of his own medicine. And we will now see Happy under pressure here at the B bomb side. We will be able to take down Zipnix though, so it's now back to a 3 versus 3 situation as the Ts look to regroup. The CTs though have a big task ahead of them because there's only 3 of them and a lot of Mirage left to cover.
There is a lot of Mirage left to cover, and it looks as though Apex here is going to be the beneficiary of an aggressive push here. I don't know. Oh my goodness, Carrigan catches Apex out, but Apex responds almost immediately with that respawn kill, and Devil able to hit Device in the head there with that M4. So what was a very, very dangerous round there for EnVyUs has turned into a pretty safe one now. They should be able to regain control of this one.
That we will see. And Kirby is just left alone. 30 seconds left. He's got the bomb. If he get the plant, it's going to be a positive outcome here for Astralis. But looking at the positions that EnVyUs have taken up, it's going to be difficult for him because he's only got 19 seconds left on the clock and doesn't really have any indication of where the CTs could be.
No, and I think if he manages to find one of these kills at A, he could just save the weapon, but as it stands, he might actually find Apex Devil here, and he does, but the plant will not be successful. Apex is too close there. Great kill there, though, from Kirby, and that means only 2 guns get saved for EnVyUs, so whilst the round didn't go their way, good chunk of damage done to the economy of Team EnVyUs.
That's exactly right, and that will play out later on in the half as well. So we will see potentially that CT economy come across some hard times, some adversity, and we will just see some Glocks coming out from Astralis. They're grouping up towards this A bomb site. You can see Zipnix has that smoke. He holds the key to the round. The objective here will be just to get that plant.
Yeah, only 1 smoke and a flash there on Zipnix. They'll just bide their time here. To be honest, I'd like to see them wait a little bit. I'd like to see them wait right to the end of the round and see them discuss what will happen on the next gun round. There's no real rush here. It's a 1 smoke, a couple of flashes against a full arsenal of rifles. So really, it's a low percentage round anyway. And they use this time to just wait around to see if they can flush any grenades. They don't. Apex there picking up 2, and it will just be a complete demolition job here for EnVyUs. On to Astralis. They pick up their 8th round. Good stuff. And now we move into the business end of things. It's round 19, ladies and gentlemen, between EnVyUs and Astralis here in the ESL Pro League. And it has been a spectacular show so far for both these teams, putting forward a great performance. Kenny S now with that sniper in hand, and he will go up against Carrigan, seemingly with the AWP duties away from Device.
And just some mid control being exerted here by Astralis. You can see that they put the pressure now on the mid connector, and that has resulted. They're not really taking too much territory just yet, but the CT have rotated accordingly, and they're actually going to double stack in this mid connector. So it's come to a flashpoint just shortly as they do advance up middle, and now we do see the creep just making his way under the guise of those smokes, but they are soon fading. So Astralis have taken a little bit of territory, but they are at risk of being crossfired here as now EnVyUs reposition themselves.
Yeah, it's a very slow round from both teams. Hits the minute mark and only 6 damage dealt out across both teams, and that's on Device. So both of these teams just patiently waiting for one or the other to make a mistake. MBK gets a jump spot there, takes a little bit of damage, but doesn't land the shot himself. And by the looks of things, Astralis still aren't sure of 100% where they're about to go. Finally, they make a decision. They're going to pin to the B side of things. NBK goes down to Zipnix, and what a turn of the tails that is from the first half. Pretty much an exact replica, but look at Apex there. Gets a lot of damage to someone on Catwalk as well. Dupree gets a hit in the head. Doesn't get finished off, but the spray there was ridiculous from Apex, and Kenny S will pick up Device in mid.
And it's just being cut to pieces here. Astralis, their strategy has been pulled apart by EnVyUs at the moment. There's still 14 seconds left, but that bomb has been taken down. Kenny S, what a round from him. Vintage stuff as he does take the last frag of the round, and we do see EnVyUs just chipping away at that lead Astralis have. Astralis, again, the lack of bomb plants is really strangulating their economy. They are only able to buy pistols into this round as... again, the objective will be to get that plant. They haven't been able to achieve that just yet, despite that mid-control. they really didn't act on those smokes. They didn't take enough territory there in the round, and they were forced to then take their time because the crossfires were being set up by EnVyUs, and as you can see, they just struggled to deal with that.
Certainly have struggled to deal with that, but Happy has now got an AWP as well. 2 AWPs in play here for the EnVyUs boys, and this is up against a eco round here for Astralis. A couple of deagles in play. Device has the armor as well, so he loves a deagle headshot or 2 to come his team's way. But NBK here with a pretty good idea that Zipnix is lurking, and he'll go down straight away. NBK, I thought he got a second spray kill, but it was Kenny S on the other side of the map picking up Kirby. But Carrigan finds the single deagle bullet headshot there onto Kenny S. And that'll open it up slightly, but EnVyUs well in control of this one.
They're not looking too phased at all, and you can see they're just taking those individual battles with the rifles over their Pistolero friends on Astralis, and they're just clearly outgunning their opposition at the moment. Bar that one frag on Kenny S, there hasn't been too much to write home about, as Happy finishes the round there with that frag onto Carrigan. We do see the scores leveled up at 10 apiece, and now we will see a gun round coming out from Astralis.
Yes, it's going to have to be pretty amazing from Astralis here. Very little of what they've done have bothered EnVyUs on this second half. EnVyUs are definitely looking the stronger of the two right now, and this is Astralis' map choice. Of course, we move to Train next, where EnVyUs have made their home ground known to their opponents. But right at this moment, we're locked at 10-10 on this game of Mirage, and neither team wants to give an inch here. We saw only 6 damage after 1 whole minute of action last time, but it'll be a bit quicker, I should think, at this point. It will be Apex trying to get through that smoke, but the spray connects there from Device and keeps his opposition member at bay. He'll throw a couple of flashes through there. I wonder if he'll extend through. He elects not to, and once again we are dialing down towards that minute mark, and there's the first kill. Kenny S onto Dupree, and that's a good start for EnVyUs.
Fantastic stuff for EnVyUs here, but you can see now Astralis have repositioned themselves here. They're going to try and pincer this A bomb site with that late underpass alert coming out from Kirby, but it's now on the 3 members sitting on the T ramp and in Palace to make this work, as we see Devil just sitting under the shade. You can see though, EnVyUs have made a pretty decent read of this. In fact, Kenny S is holding very defensive in the mid window, but there are 3 CTs just sitting on this A bomb site, and they're going to be called into action very soon. You can see the timer is counting down, 40 seconds left. And Astralis need to make a move.
They certainly do. NBK has got a spot on those B halls, so they know the danger's not incoming there, and the rotation is on here. 30 seconds to go. Kenny S picks up the first, and we will join the action with his AWP on that ramp, and it will be Kirby picking up 1, picking up 2. Zipnix gets 1 as well, picks up a second. Now it's 1 versus 1, NBK versus Zipnix, but NBK is all over in here with the angle. Good engage and rotation there from NBK. Gets the last kill. And Astralis get close, but no cigar there. And EnVyUs hit the front.
That they do for the first time since the pistol round.
Yeah, first time they've been leading since round 1. So we are now in round 22, and things are a lot tighter now than they once were. Astralis pushed out to that early CT lead, but the guys from EnVyUs fought back really hard, and now they've taken the lead back on their CT side of things and looked good doing it. That last round was very, very close, but in the end, NBK finishing it off. Now for Astralis, they might have to change up the tempo here, Jim. This slow style that they're always known for adopting, and it's not really hitting its mark against this EnVyUs setup, particularly with the Kenny S AWP going off at the moment. They're finding it difficult, but then again, who doesn't?
Oh, it's no easy task. It's no enviable task either. And I certainly don't envy them. But now we do see this attempt on mid-control late coming out from Astralis. They're going to use that underpass to effect, but you can see Happy's posted up on short. He is a long way from support though. Dupree actually catches him with his pants down, and now they're going to put pressure on the A-bomb site through the middle connector. Now they're going to bust up the T-ramp. NBK is going to be late to the play. That Molotov is going to block his progression through the side, but he actually catches Dupree. I'm not too sure what he was watching there. Luckily, Kirby is in good position to find that trade. It's back to a 3 versus 3. You can see, though, the bomb's made its way back towards that B-bomb site where Carrigan has got the information that he has cleared it. He has to take the cautious route, though. He has to go back through underpass. It was way too risky to go through short there. But Carrigan now back in T-spawn. Kerrigan should be able to get Kenny S there. Apex gets taken down in T-spawn. It's now back to a 3 versus 1. Great read there from Astralis. Great work from Kerrigan getting the info. And that has effectively won them the round.
Absolutely stellar play there from Kerrigan, as you said, pushing all the way through, backing himself in, and getting that B bomb site for his team, let alone taking down Kenny S. Devils managed to escape with the magic stick. Kenny S's AWP, that's very aptly named, mind you, and he will try and save that one for his fellow countryman and teammate for the next round. Jim, that was a nice read from Kerrigan, as you said. Is that what's going to get Astralis back into the game, though? A series of individual reads mid-round, or do you think that they can properly execute on one of the bomb sites if they get the timing right?
Well, that's the question. We thought that Astralis were going to come in with some more set execute heavy play. They actually haven't been doing that, to be fair. They've actually been opting for that late mid control. And their smokes, it's not what I was expecting from Astralis, to be fair. So I think maybe they're trying to try something different, throw a bit of a curveball for EnVyUs, but it's not working. EnVyUs are dealing with this quite well at the moment. So we will see them setting up again on this T ramp, and Molotov means they're not going to execute just yet, but the smokes are coming over. They're going to try and get the bomb plant here for 5 AKs coming into this A site.
Yeah, this is all or nothing here for Astralis. They've pretty much sunk half their resources into this early hit, but I do like the hesitation here. I guess it's the double pump, you'd call it. The original hit not wielding any action. The
real risk with this is, though, if they don't fall for it, then they're going to be at risk of being just cordoned off, as we do see them now hitting this site. Zipnix opens up, though, so luckily he takes down Apex, and now it's all on Devil here at the flame box. He looks for one, finds him quickly, but he's expended a lot of bullets and is taken down by Device now. 3 versus 4 situation. They have overwhelmed the site. They are going to get the bomb plant here. Great work from Device again, finding another frag. He might actually tag MBK a little bit there through the smoke. Oh, sharp shot onto Happy. And now MBK, they know potentially where he could be, but they haven't got information. MBK is going to try and save that OBP, and he's got to make a hightail getaway.
Yeah, it turns out that Astralis went back to what works for them the best. They went back to that set execute, and boy, was it a thing of beauty. The first one came in, and then the second phase, the second phase started with the string of Molotovs that was then followed up by more smokes and flashes, and it was just too much for the out of position Team EnVyUs players who had sort of thought to themselves, no, this is a fake, and moved into disadvantageous positions, almost saving the AWP there, NBK. But right now, Astralis looking strong. They've got a second wind in their T half, and the last couple of rounds have been very, very clinical from them. Individual play from Kerrigan, and backing it up with a lovely A site execute. Now EnVyUs forced back onto these Deagles. Very scary prospect here for Astralis, but around that they would be heavily favoured in.
Yeah, taking that AWP out of MBK's hands last round. Effectively Kenny S's, I would imagine they would have given it to him as a preference, but you could see EnVyUs in this pistol round have actually opted to try and take some form of mid-control early on, trying to send Devil up, but you can see that Astralis recognise that. They recognise the threat. They're backed right off. They're just holding very defensively, awaiting any more CT aggression. And it's a smart play from Astralis. We expect this passive play, this clinical approach to their anti-eco rounds. And EnVyUs at the moment, they don't have a lot of utility to burn now, and they're just going to have to try and take these fights with the pistols.
They got to pick and choose which fights they take, though. So right now, it's a series of waiting games, small mini waiting games. Right now, Astralis looking strong, Dupree moving towards the mid-con, but that's heavily stacked. So Devil working in here, but his teammate has gone unnoticed there by Dupree. Picks up one, but has no idea that there is a second mysterious counter-terrorist there by the name of Kenny S in the mid-connector.
Oh, Apex with that Deagle onto Device, shattering him there, and just putting him to bed, as we now see EnVyUs actually have a slight man advantage. That was now eliminated as Kenny S goes down, and making it awkward to get into this bomb site. EnVyUs, they're not allowing Astralis free passage just yet, but they're going to bust their way through. Brute forcing in. Zipnix picks up 2. It's just to do here for NBK. He's got a Deagle. It's been his friend so far, but it's been put to bed there again, as we now see Astralis push through. The money from EnVyUs is going to allow them to buy into this round, but more importantly, Kenny S picking up that OBP. He's going to go the glass cannon.
Yeah, and it's crazy how Device does it, isn't it? He's on 23 kills and 9 assists, yet, you know, we haven't had that moment where we went, holy smokes, Device. Maybe the 1 4K in the first half that he managed to get in the short side of things. Was a, you know, wow moment for him, but everything else is just the grind. He's one of the most consistent players in the world, and there's a reason why. He's just never off. He's always accumulating, and he's doing a great job for Astralis here on their T side, and he's going to be anchored up once again here, but Devil will get the better of him in this exchange, and Apex will then pick up a double, so brilliant start to the round here for EnVyUs.
Dupree, though, is able to undo the hard work of Apex now, and you can see it's a 3 versus 3, make that a 3 versus 2. Happy picks up Carrigan, just getting a little bit too adventurous on the catwalk. Yeah, as now it's all to do for Dupree. 1 versus 3 situation, 2 AWPs to contend with, and makes his way up that T-ramp. And they know exactly where he is. It's going to be difficult for him from here on out, but he's going to try and go for it. Try and do some damage to the CT economy. Not able to do so. Happy takes him down, and we will see EnVyUs now back to 12 rounds. Astralis, of course, on 13.
Yeah, it's a long way back here for EnVyUs, but I think they believe they can do it here. 2 AWPs in play, Kenny S and NVK for EnVyUs on those scopes. Apex with that P90. He just did a terrific job last round of shutting down that A attack. His play in exchange with Devil there was sublime. And we will see Astralis now with a patchwork buy of sorts. Device on that Tech 9. 3 AKs in play. Mysterious to me how Device hasn't ended up with an AK, but you know, we lament this fact so much when we watch these games.
Yeah, exactly right, but you can see that they're very light on this buy, and this is really their last real roll of dice before having to give up some superior weaponry to their opposition. Astralis, as we now see them take control of mid. This is a little bit better because the smokes are up and they've actually got territory control here. Apex, though, is pushed onto Device and only taken the Tech 9 out of his hands, but more importantly, he's cleared out of an important area of the map. So he has information as to where Astralis are likely to be headed, and more importantly, he's eliminated a potential threat onto this A bomb site. So you can see Astralis heading towards this B bomb site. That bomb has made its way through the B halls there. They've got a man inserted in the vent room, but it's all on Happy here, and he's got, luckily, MBK in support.
Yeah, Happy there, just around at the van. Kirby and Zigniks open up here for Astralis, so this is good news for them. 3 versus 3 now. Apex, Kenny S and Devil versus Zipnix, Carrigan and Kirby. Kirby will find the angle onto Apex there at short, and Kenny S will try and get that scope moving into the bomb site. Devil going at that side of the map with him. That's a lovely kill from Devil. He's moving his way into the bomb site now, very aggressively, followed in tow by Kenny S with that scope. Lovely teamwork here from EnVyUs as they try and eliminate all the different possibilities, but Zipnix will get a lot of damage onto Devil, take him down, and Kenny S will very wisely try and escape there, but Carrigan shuts him down. So beautiful post-plan positioning there from Astralis, regardless of the teamwork and entry power of EnVyUs. It was enough to dislodge the positions they held. And
heartbreak here for EnVyUs as they have been reset with their economy on the CT side in a crucial stage of the match. They're only going to go into this round with a Mag 7 and some upgraded pistols, so it's going to be a very hard task for them against the rifles of Astralis. Carrigan again donning that AWP. He took it out of Kenny S's hands, so the magic is now with him, and we will see Astralis, a very, very slow approach to the round, very cautious of some aggression coming out from the CTs, knowing in fact that they will not have some superior weaponry, expecting them to try and make some plays.
Yeah, and they've full forced into this one, have EnVyUs, so they've decided that perhaps 2 half buys with pistols and a kit and a few flashes was worth more than 1 famous buy with just maybe a simple smoke and a flash, because that's what they would have ended up with. So 2 bites at the cherry here for EnVyUs, but neither of them will be particularly intimidating for Astralis. This is theirs to lose now. They've done all the hard work. It's now just about closing it out and cashing in on that position they've put themselves in.
Precisely, as we do. You do see that grenade from MBK smashes Carrigan, and you can see they've actually backed off completely from the B halls there. They've tried to sell a bit of a fake here towards the A bomb site, but EnVyUs haven't really moved too much at all. Devil, I'm sure, is feeding them information as to what is going on. He would have heard absolutely no footsteps at all on the T-ramp, but now late play. Astralis heading back towards A.
EnVyUs there with Apex picking up that Deagle headshot onto Zipnik. So this is all coming crumbling down here at the moment for Astralis. And they're trapped on this A with 14 seconds to go. What has happened? They've waited way too long and capitulated.
That is a gross miscommunication there from Astralis. And they've effectively surrendered weaponry here to EnVyUs. And now they've given back another round, given EnVyUs some hope, and given them some weaponry. And they've been handed a lifeline here, and I'm not surprised to see a tactical pause come out.
Well, they're going to have to sort this one out, aren't they? I think this is more this could be from the EnVyUs side of things as well. Most likely from Astralis as they talk over what went on in that round. But to be honest, this could be EnVyUs saying, hey, look, guys, we need to try and work out a strategy here and work out what money we think the enemy has, because we're back in this. EnVyUs had basically said to themselves, we're taking the two 20% rounds over the one 40% round, and they cashed in on the 20. So now the power is almost in EnVyUs' court because they've got the full buy here. They've got the 3 AKs and the M4 with that shotgun and MBK. It is now almost Team EnVyUs' to lose. The only thing standing in their way is an AWP on Carrigan and an AK on Device.
And we'll see how that actually holds up for them, because it's a difficult prospect now for Astralis. They're trying to redistribute their funds. You can see Dupree there has been bled of money. So is Zipnix. Kierbe has got a little bit of cash, but it's not much better than the rest of the team. And you can see that Carrigan and Device, despite saving some weaponry there, they're not really in a position where they can actually drop their teammates anything at all. So I think there's a real question over what they're able to do in this round, how they're going to approach it, how they're going to use the... I guess how Carrigan's going to use his pawns on the board if you were going to compare it to chess. So it's a tough situation for Astralis to be in. This is their map pick. This is you know, what we tipped them to take. So EnVyUs stand on the brink of actually really breaking Astralis here.
If Astralis can get away with winning this map, it's a really interesting point in the next map train. Because I think that Astralis, if they were able to get over this little hump that they're facing against EnVyUs here, they'll actually go really confidently into train because they've won their map pick. They've got up, they've done what they've come to do, and they play train with no pressure. All of a sudden, if EnVyUs steal that map pick away from Astralis, then they go into train with all the confidence in the world. And Astralis thinking to themselves, we really need to win this.
I mean, look, Astralis are no slouches on train.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion.
They're very strong on train.
It's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to take that map, but I mean, they're definitely taking it to Astralis here on their map pick in this ESL Pro League. So we will see a slow approach from Astralis out. They're not really too keen on taking territory. They don't have the utility to. If you look across the board, they actually have no flashes or smokes whatsoever.
No, they don't, and this is going to have to be a very, very dry pick into a bomb site here for Astralis. There's really nothing else to say. It's going to be Carrigan and Device doing it for them, but Dupree, Kierbe, and Zipnik's not even investing in the armor. Sorry, Kierbe has the armor, and Device goes down with that rifle, so that's not a good start here for Astralis at all.
Well, not only that, too, is picking unsupported. So if they're going to value the rifles, then surely they're going to have someone there as an insurance policy, at least to try and pick it up. As you now see, I believe it's Zipnik's trying to make his way to collect that rifle on the T-ramp, so at least giving them a hope. He does actually pick that up, and they're going to try and position themselves to pincer this A bomb site. They're going to come through connector here. A lot of pressure being placed on Kenny S, and I'm not too sure whether or not he's going to be able to make that. The burst from Dupree actually reaps rewards. Kenny S finds one, but it's now back to a 3 versus 4 situation. And this is an awkward position because they've got to wait, Astralis. They've got to wait for that bomb to get in position on the T-ramp. So, EnVyUs just laying in wait.
They're laying in wait, but this is a crucial kill. Zipnix gets it onto Apex, and this could be the beginning of something special here for Astralis. 3 versus 3 now. Happy, NBK, and Devil firing away, getting their rifles to put in some work, and that's beautiful stuff there from Happy. The kill onto Dupree, and then the slow tap onto Zipnix, who was planting the bombs. So, EnVyUs now in the box seat for this one, 14-14.
Such a risky plant as well. They had no cover from short. Happy there was happy to oblige with the frags. He only had to patiently tap on the head of the bomb planter afterwards. And I mean, I'm not too sure what Astralis were doing in that instance, because surely you could have found a better plant than that given the open position.
I don't think that they knew Happy was there. and the guy who was planting for the guy in con. So they were planting for that guy to clutch, but then because Happy killed the guy he was planting for, it all unraveled.
It's still such an open plant to take in that situation.
It's a huge risk, yeah. That guy from con can clutch from a number of different positions. He could have planted on the left-hand side of the side quite easily. You're spot on there, but so the risk was taken and obliged by EnVyUs. The AWP in play, Kenny S now, and really Astralis are fighting a very, very difficult uphill battle now. Full arsenal here for the EnVyUs guys. 5 kits, smokes, flashes, molotovs, nades, rifles, you name it, they've got it. And Astralis need to take it away from them.
And they are going to try and execute on this B bomb site. You can see that Molotov, though, has just stopped them in their tracks, and they're actually going to pull the pin on that. They're going to go back through the underpass here towards mid as Carrigan gets taken down by MBK. You can see those Zipniks leads to charge in, though he's not going to run through the fire just yet. That Molotov is perfect in stopping this A pressure being applied, and Devil finds one. Kenny S finds another. Kirby finds the trade finally, but Happy now lurking through the short. He does find another frag onto Kirby. All to do for Dupree, though, and a crucial round here as they will surrender match point if he doesn't do anything, unfortunately. There's not a lot he can do from that situation, and EnVyUs take match point. More importantly, too, though, they force Astralis into a low money situation. Pistols are going to be the best scenario here, and they've got no choice but to buy.
Yeah, Astralis there falling at the final hurdle. They couldn't get over the line. And it was that, they had them. They had them, and all of a sudden they lost them. Because that eco round that Astralis sat and waited for way too long, trapped themselves at A-ramp, and that's really going to cost them into, turn that round upside down. And Astralis would love that one back. However, now they're stuck with a very, very difficult prospect now. 5 pistols with armor, smokes in the works, but it will be Apex picking up 1, picking up 2. The spray transfer's good. He's going to go ham here. No, he doesn't get any more, but the damage has been done. EnVyUs look as though they're going to come through with this one here and win out against Astralis on their map pick. It is a 3 versus 1. It's all on Zipniks. The one redeeming factor is he does have the bomb, and B is empty, so he is on the rotate, ready to go, and he is flogging it down the right-hand side of the map there. You can see on the minimap he is checking every corner, but he's not slowing down for anything. And finally he makes his way into B, and we'll actually get a plant down here, but it won't be very good at all. It'll be in vain. Happy makes it all the way around. GG to EnVyUs. Astralis there going down 16-14 on their own map pick after leading 14-12. They want that back, Astralis, but EnVyUs, fantastic job of staying calm and collected under pressure, executing with those limited resources and picking up the W.
Unfortunately, it was a bridge too far for Astralis there in the end. Some crucial mistakes being made, and EnVyUs actually taking Astralis' map pick away from them. So that is an interesting prospect, given that we are now going to be going into EnVyUs' map pick. So that is going to be trained. And I'm really interested to see how that actually bodes, because we've seen EnVyUs willingly pick this map time and time again. It's actually a well-known fact that Astralis are no slouches on train. They quite willingly will play the map if need be, and it's going to be another very, very closely contested clash.
Should be. But right now we will go to a break and come back very, very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, with map 2. It will be trained between Astralis and EnVyUs.